Nada ide happen no, nada ide selenge. We don't talk our mind yo, as it be na so we don't talk more. Mama, papa, brother, sister, even on the YouTube. Subscribe and follow Chinedu TV. Eba fukona potuno, eba fukona man. Now we'll be the voice of Africa in diaspora. Chinedu TV. Voice of Africa, where they show. Chinedu TV. Now where we go there. Chinedu TV. Gather your family, call everybody. Oh. Chinedu TV. Prison what don't want to go.
Yes, so my people, how are you doing? My name is Chinedu Anichi, your one and only celebrity here. So, and this is Chinedu Anichi TV streaming live from St. Louis, Missouri, United States of America. How are you doing? My people, how are you doing? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you're watching Chinedu Anichi TV from. Those of you who are watching from Australia, those in Europe, those in Asia, those, I don't know where you are, especially those in Africa, and you are watching Chinedu Anichi TV. Today is a very good day and a very bright day. Yesterday, we were supposed to have somebody in the show, but for some logistic reasons, we could not have him. But today, being who he is and how dedicated he is to things that concern the public and his service spirit, he has shown. And today, we'll be having Honorable Matthew Kwambo, the House of Assembly member representing is that Mungu? Is that Mungu or what?
Mangu South constituency.
Constituency, yes. Mangu South in Plateau State in Nigeria. One of the most vibrant House of Assembly member in the 774 local governments in Nigeria. So today we are privileged to have Honorable Matthew Kwambo in this show. Honorable, how are you doing?
Mr. Chinedu, I'm doing fine. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on where and the location that they are watching us live. I am glad to be in this show, and I trust God that I'm going to give my inputs as expected.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable. This is a wonderful show. Honorable, one of the things that I respect you for your words, yesterday you were punctual, but some logistic problems in the studio could not allow us to air you live. And you said, no problem, you're going to come back. Despite your choking schedule, you scratched from the bottom of save a little time to be here. So, due respect, we appreciate sincerely. And that's why we have always advocated, let's have young people in position, those who still have energy. Even if the first today, they come out tomorrow again. So, because there's an age it will be, I don't think we'll have him again today. He's gone. So, thank you for showing up today again.
Thank you.
For those watching on Instagram, I don't know. This is Matthew. Those on Instagram, those on X, those on TikTok, those of you on Facebook, those of you on YouTube. We're all live now on all these platforms. They are all connected and streaming live, and we'll have Honorable Matthew Kwambo, House of Assembly member, Mangu South constituency of Plateau State in Nigeria. So today, our topic for bringing him out is because we have considered his energetic legislative tendency. And we decided to bring him because the topic we have today has to do with energy. It has to do with youthful effrontery to display. So the topic we have today is quality legislative representation of Nigerian youths. And we decided to look for youth among the legislators. And here you are today. So, but before we go on, one of the days I hosted some very outstanding, like the day that the Shoki came here. He reminded me how we were picking iron from dustbin in the street of Ajegule. And today, both of us are celebrities, due respect, and demonstrating our humility. The other day, the first goalkeeper of Nigerian Falcons, Chiamaka, was here. He showed us how she was hawking plantain and all this for the mom. Today is celebrated both in Nigerian Falcon and the Paris FC, where is the number one goalkeeper in France. So a lot of people share such stories. If you touch Osime today, Osime will tell you, pure water. Myself, I sold my mind in the street of Osoka. But here I am today. So, honorable, because some people will think that their present condition is their permanent destination, we like people like you to share how your beginning was, so that they will know that Honorable Matthew Kwambo did not just fall from heaven and become an honorable. Do you have anything to share about your beginning and how God helped you to where you are now?
Yes, I thank you so much. For every man that is successful in life must have a starting point. And my starting was something I will not forget in a haste. I was coming up. My parents had no money, no wealth.
Network.
But they taught me the right. My parents were predominantly farmers, so they taught me how to farm. We used to go to the farm, and then after farming, we come back home. But I did not only go to the farm; I was also learning handwork. I was learning how to do welding, and then also going to the markets. So I had a lot of things that I was doing when I was coming up. And those things were the things that really, molded me, prepared me. And then today I'm a member. I will recall that we used to go to the markets to sow bags. In Plateau State, we have a lot of agricultural produce. In Mangu, particularly of Plateau State in Nigeria, we farm a lot of corn. And so we used to go to the markets, put the corn inside the bag. After bagging it, we saw it, and then we load it into the trucks that will be transported to all over the country. So I was into that. I also learned how to sell sugarcane. I was selling sugarcane as well. That was my beginning. And when I was doing those things, I made sure that I did not leave school like that. I was going to school. From school, I think in secondary school, I was made the head boy. That during our set in 1999, I was the head boy of our school. After which I proceeded, to the university immediately after my post-secondary, and I started learning leadership there. So even when I was in university, I was the public relation officer of my Students Tribal Association. We call it the NAMS, National Association of Mogabul Students. And from there, in my department, I studied English. I was the vice president of English Literary Cycle. It was one of the strongest associations in the school, and I was the vice president. And from there, I graduated and became a youth leader. I served at the district level as the chairman of Mogabul Youth Movement. It's also one of the associations that we have on the plateau, one of the 53 ethnic nationalities that we have on the plateau. I served as the chairman of the district. And from the district, I proceeded to become the national president worldwide of the Mogabul Youth Movement.
Wow.
And I did a lot of things when I was the president Mogabul Youth Movement. I could recall that some of the activities that we carried, some of the activities we executed were the things that I now brought them forward to the Plateau State House of Assembly, the chamber, where I have already been working on them. Some of them I moved them as motions, some of them I moved them as bills. And joining the MYM, Mugabe Youth Movement, we were able to fight against the intake, that's the consumption, the sales and production of all these illicit drinks. There's this illicit drink that in Africa, in Nigeria particularly, we call it the Goskoro. It's made up of different chemicals, and so it's so destructive. So we campaign against it. We form bylaws, to guide us on how to discourage the consumption of such illicit drinks. And so my beginning was what gave me life. My beginning was what gave me hope. My beginning was what really made me to be focused. And so I always urge youth, to have a very smooth beginning, to have a challenging beginning, to have a prospective and constructive beginning. And because in the future, all those things will resurface, and then you will give, the society you will give the right things that are needed in the society. But where you have a very poor beginning and you are useless in the beginning, you may not even be able to do anything in the future. So my beginning was a humble one, a very challenging one, a lovely one, and one that I can hardly forget. And so also most of the legislators that we have, you will discover that they started even when they were still young, when they were still small. And today, they are making us proud. So my beginning, even in the House of Assembly, was so lovely. And Mr. Chinedu, I want to tell you that Plateau State House of Assembly is having the youngest speaker in the whole of Nigeria.
Wow.
Yes, that's the
next thing you do for me. I would like to host the speaker on this show. You see that?
Yeah.
I would like to hold your speaker, the youngest speaker in Nigeria. I would like to host this show.
He is the youngest speaker in Nigeria. He's 31 years old. And he's one of the most performing speakers in Nigeria. And he has made our 10th assembly, to be lively. The 10th assembly we have in Plateau State is a youthful one. We have 70% of the youths occupying the various constituencies, representing the people at the various constituencies in Plateau State. We have 24 constituencies. And out of these 24, I want to assure you that we have like about 13 to 14 young men of high repute, young legislators who are highly focused, young legislators who have sponsored bills and motions that are developmental in nature. So I think that's what I will say about my humble beginning from grass to grace.
Yeah.
And to the glory of God, I am appreciating God Almighty and all the people who have mentored me for giving me the platform and the opportunity to serve in the Plateau State House of Assembly.
Wow. Thank you, sir. I thank God for a young man like you moving from the farm to the chambers. It's God's grace. Why we allow you people to share this kind of stories is so that other people, our viewers, can be encouraged. Those who are thinking that just because I'm in the farm, just because I'm working, I cannot get to here and there. So your life story and your short testimony is an encouragement to those who are watching. So I see a lot of you on the comment section saying, English, Englishman is here, Englishman. Yes, we know Englishman is here, no problem. Okay, thank you. Can you hear me? Network is challenging, but it's going to bounce back naturally. Our background, where we're coming from in Nigeria, network has always been fluctuating. But once it bounces back, we'll continue from where we stop, you know. But yeah, thank you. It's back and alive. Network used to challenge, but it's okay. I thank God for you, sir, and for Plateau State. I want to ask you, championing youth interests as a legislator, what specific bills or policies have you sponsored or supported to improve the welfare, education, and employment opportunities of the youths?
Well, thank you very much. In the 10th Assembly, we have really worked on bills and motions. It is the responsibility of the legislature, you know, to legislate. He makes laws for the people. And I think we have done our best. The first law, the first bill that I have sponsored is a bill for a law to prohibit the sales, the production and consumption of illicit drinks and illicit drugs and other related matters, 2024. And this bill is aimed at giving the youths good future. As I earlier was trying to tell the whole world, that one of the challenges that the youths face in the society is taking illicit drinks, taking illicit drugs,
Abuse of substances.
abuse of substances, and you discover that it masks their future. It will surprise you to know that most of the youths who have abused substances may not even be able to give birth because it has affected their reproductive systems. And some of them drop out of schools. Most of them have joined this robbery, banditry, and rest of them. All the heinous activities that we have seen in our societies, most of the people perpetrating such heinous, such dastardly attitudes are people who are drunk. And so that bill is to empower the society, the communities, the local communities, to be able to organize workshops, discourage the youth from intake or the consumption and production of such illicit drinks, and also to have the opportunity to punish them. That's one of the aims of the bill. Another major objective of the bill is to establish a center that those of them who have already been affected adversely by the drugs, will be treated. And once they are rehabilitated, they will be reintegrated into the society and be given one job or the other to do. And so this bill has passed 3 different stages. It is in the 4th stage now. It is about to be passed into law. We have already scrutinized the bill into, public discussion. The public hearing was done. People came in and contributed their quota to the development of the bill. We have now brought back the bill on the floor of the assembly. And in not distant times, it is going to be passed into law. Another bill that I have been sponsoring is a bill to establish the Plateau State Sports Council. This Plateau State Sports Council is aimed at taking down to the grassroots sporting activities where the young talents are going to be fished out and trained and sent for competitions abroad and stay in national and international. You discover that most of these countries that used to carry their younger ones to to international competitions like the Olympics. They started when they were young, from the primary school to the secondary school. So we are working on a bill to establish a Plateau State Sports Commission, where the commission is going to be empowered and be saddled with the responsibility of, taking establishing the various sporting centers at the primary school and secondary school at the various zones. We have 3 zones in Plateau State: the southern zone, the central zone, and the northern zone. And so, when this bill is passed into law, it will also give an opportunity for youths to be employed, because it's going to be an agency or a commission. So it will require a lot of hands to be on deck. And so there will be employment for youths. And then we will have young talents being tapped and sent all over the world, to compete with other competitors in the sporting activities. I have also supported a bill. That bill already has been passed into law, and the bill has to do with the law defender. This is it came as an executive bill from the governor, and the bill was aimed, to empower those people who will need the services of lawyers whensoever they are to appear in the court or the police station or anywhere that they want to defend themselves. So that bill too is, it has already been passed into law. It is a law that is awaiting the governor's assent. There are so many bills that the 10th Assembly, have really worked on and then passed into law. And I think I contributed my part to the processes that were involved in legislation, in terms of trying to make sure that they follow the legislative processes and be passed into law. So there are other motions that I have been able to sponsor, to ensure that my constituency and the state at large feel the impact of my legislation. And one of the motions, has to do with the economic empowerment of the youths. I raised the motion on the floor of the assembly that the government should fund all the microfinance banks that we have in the state, because we discovered that most of the microfinance banks are becoming, debts, and so they need to be revived. So I sponsored that motion that the state government should inject 1% of the subvention that comes to the state in the various microfinance banks in the state, so as to create an enabling environment for the youths to be employed, and for the youths also to access markets and to do their businesses. And some of them will even go and get fertilizers and go to the farm, and then the rest of it all. And I think that motion and so many other motions and laws that time may not allow me to continue to say them. But I want to tell you that the vocal point, the youths are 20 that we represent. And so all the legislation that we do, we ensure that these bills and motions touch the lives of the youth and the entire states.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you for coming up with that wonderful bills, and that's why we have been praying for young people in government, and it has always paid off when a youth is occupying the seat of whether legislator or executive or whatever. So because it will be youth oriented, it will be youth oriented. If you look at all the bills you have sponsored, it is all of them are anchored on youth development. You see, this reminds me something. My younger brother, I'm sponsoring a team. There is a team I am sponsoring in Cairo, in Egypt. It's called the African Rangers. So about 2 days ago, my younger brother sent me a video. Let me see if I can see this video. What you're saying now just touched me about Plateau State. And I'm so happy about Plateau State. From what my younger brother just sent to me, let me check out something. You're coming here just reminded me of this wonderful. Okay, you see these things. I don't know if people can see it. You can see this. My younger brother just went look at them with Nigerian stuff, Nigerian jersey. These people are these people. This is a team from Plateau State that went to Cairo for competition, sponsored by the governor of Plateau State. My younger brother sent this to me. My mind, but now that you are talking about sponsoring and establishing sports commission, I become so happy. My younger brother sent me this, said a team for badminton is in Cairo, Egypt now, sponsored by the governor of Plateau State. This
Okay.
2 days ago, my brother sent it to me 2 days ago. So my brother has it. He's a founder and a coach of a team that I'm sponsoring. He told me Nigerian people are in Cairo. And he went there, he took some pictures with them and told me that these people are coming from Plateau State, sponsored by the governor of Plateau. So I was so happy. I was so happy.
Mr. Chinedu. Mr. Chinedu, sir.
Yeah,
Hello.
ahead.
Talking about the governor of Plateau State, this is a man who has the youth at heart. I was the chairman, House Standing Committee on Youth and Sports, and I want to tell you that what the governor is doing now, we have never gotten his kind. He has sponsored a lot of youths, going to participate in different competitions nationally and internationally. The Plateau United Football Club, the Mighty Jets, the governor has ensured that all the things that they need are provided. And I want to tell you that this is a governor, His Excellency Governor Caleb Manasseh Mutfang, the governor of Plateau State, is a role model to the youth. As I speak to you, he is remodeling the Jos Township Stadium to be one of the best in Nigeria. He just awarded the contract, and the contract has gone 40% completion. And so many other things that I will tell you, not just these ones that you have seen that your brother shot you. Honestly, the governor is a man that the youths will always look up to. Most of his commissioners are youths. If you look at Commissioner of Water Resources, it's a very young man. Housing and Development, so many of them are youths. He has given 316 appointments to the youths in different capacities. Some of them special assistants, some of them special advisors. And anything that we're doing in the House of Assembly that will have to touch the lives of the youths, I want to tell you that the governor is there. He is always there for us. So this is a governor that is a father to us. And so mentioning his name has made me to recollect his contributions in the development of the youths. If you even see the way he's treating us in the House of Assembly, most especially the youngest speaker, he brings him closer to him as a father. And
a seamless
yes,
between
yes,
the House of Assembly and the government.
There is, because of their understanding, the speaker and the governor, there is that synergy, there is that understanding that is going on in the state. And it is the synergy and the understanding that is bringing out the development that you see in the state. It is the synergy between the young speaker and the focus governor that has now made it possible for us to have a peaceful plateau once again. We have now regained our name among the committee of peace and tourism in the entire world. So our name, the Plateau Home of Peace and Tourism, is now back fully. And it is because of the legislators that we have who are youthful legislators and the focused governor. Mr. Chinedu, you know, in politics, you have different political parties.
Yes.
In Plateau State, in Nigeria, this is the first time that we're having a legislature that has 24 members are from different political parties, while the governor and the deputy governor are from different political parties. The governor and the deputy governor are from the PDP, while the 22 members in the 10th Assembly of Plateau State are from APC. One is in the Labour Party, and the other one is the YPP. And the one that is in YPP is the Speaker of the Plateau State House of Assembly.
Wow.
He has just one person, YPP. We have so entrusted everything in his hands because we have seen quality legislation. And so you see a very peaceful plateau. Mr. Chinedu, let me tell you, in the entire country, Nigeria, most of the state legislatures have paid courtesy call on the speaker and the management of Plateau State House of Assembly. Why are they paying courtesy call on us? Is to be able to learn from our legislation.
Yes, they want to know how this is happening.
They are wondering, why is it that there is no fight, just like that one in Rivers State, between the governor and the legislators? When we have different political parties, we are from different political backgrounds. They have come severally, to ask us. And then we will tell them that it is the synergy and the understanding. It is the kind of youthful assembly that we have, that we are so focused, we know that we have a future. And so we will not do anything that will mar our future. And honestly, basically, I want to tell you that Plateau State House of Assembly is a role model to other young legislators across the country. When you go to the House of Representatives, the National House of Representatives, that is the Green Chamber, we have David Lalu is a member who is just 40 years old. And this member is the chairman of Young Legislators Forum in the National Assembly. If you see their caucus, they have been able to distinguish themselves in the National Assembly. You will see the kind of constituency projects they are executing. You will see the kind of bills they sponsor in the National Assembly. They are so unique. So Nigeria is rich with young legislators. And it is our prayer that we will continue to flourish. We will continue to do more and more and more. Thank you.
Hey, this is wonderful. And I'm so impressed. No, I didn't intend to discuss the governor, but while you were talking about how you people are trying to create a sports commission that will harness talents from Plateau State, my mind went straight to what my younger brother showed me 2 days ago from Cairo in Egypt. He said,
yeah,
there's a team here from Nigeria, and the team is coming from Plateau State, sponsored by their governor. I said, so governors at home still sponsor people abroad. So
yeah,
so that is badminton team, and they are there. So I am so impressed, and you collaborated that information, and I'm so happy. Yeah, thank you very, very much. When I invited you to this show, what was running in your mind?
Well, a lot of things were running in my mind. This is based on the fact that I want to believe I'm going to speak to the whole world. And so I was wondering, what will I say? And On the other hand, I am the House Committee Chairman, House Standing Committee on Information. So I think I'm the spokesperson of the House of Assembly. And so I know that I know how I'll be able to say one or two things. And so I I I think for the first time I'm facing the entire world to talk to them about legislation, about our House of Assembly, youth representation in the House House of Assembly, whether state or national. So this is my first time of appearing, in life, addressing issues concerning legislation across the globe. So many things came in, so many things ran through my mind. But as I am doing it now, I believe that one or two things that I will say.
I want to see the kind of comments that is going on, because I hid the comment from you before. By the side now, you can see the comments. Are you seeing comments on the screen?
Yes.
Now you can see there's comment by the side. So, but
Yes.
what I'm going to do is that I'm going to be pulling it up on this, pulling it up on the, like I can show it on the screen. So, plateau development is a synergy as a result of a synergy of a young speaker, Right Honorable Dewan Gabriel, and focused governor. God bless Plateau State and our distinguished member, Matthew Kwapu.
Thank God.
So I pray others learn from him to also bring in the youth into politics and playing a part in the governance of the state. You see, a lot of people are already reacting to what you're saying. This one said, wow, 316 very massive appointment. This one said, the governor is actually for the youth. This one said, very much focused. The governor is really good. A lot. I just want to show you the kind of thing going on in the comment section here. So, I think your state will know that you projected them to global limelight today. So, I want to go to a question once more to ask you. Many young Nigerians feel disconnected, sir, when it comes to legislation. So, bridging the representation gap, how do you ensure that youth voices and concerns are effectively represented when discussions and decision-making process is concerned? Knowing that you know that in Nigeria, many youths are alienated in many states. There's a recycle of old men who have been in government since 1900. They are still coming. Just that Plateau State was blessed this time. And the privilege God have given you people in this state assembly, how do you create avenues at any given chance that the voice and concerns of the youth and this particular thing going on now will be consolidated and the continuity sustained?
So, thank you very much. I think one of the primary responsibilities of a legislator is the oversight functions. And so, bridging the gap, that the youths have been so sidelined, it's a fact, and it's a phenomenon that in the entire country, the youths are facing challenges in that regards. But coming back to Plateau State, and myself as the member representing the good people of Mangu South State constituency, I have always gone down to the grassroots, to engage the youths. I have convened a legislative parley between the youth's leadership and my constituency in general. We sat together, we dialogued together, we discussed a lot of issues, burning issues. And some of my bills and motions, I got them as a result of inclusiveness, that is bringing the youths to discuss with them in a town hall meeting. And then now when they brought in their suggestions, their opinions, I really took some of them to heart and I worked on them. And those are some of the motions that I'm already working on in the House of Assembly. So what the legislatures are doing in Plateau State is during their oversight functions, they ensure that some of these MDAs that are saddled with the responsibility of touching the lives of the youths are, do it has been appropriated in the budget. For instance, we have the Plasmida. The Plasmida is an establishment that is saddled with the responsibility of empowering the youth. And so we have already appropriated law, in the budget that will be able to equip that particular agency and then ensure that they touch the lives of the youth. So during our oversight, we enlighten the youths to go there and get what belongs to them. And then we encourage the agency, to continue to touch the lives of the youths. So bridging the gap will have to do, for you to really bring the youth to limelight, there has to be a lot of orientation, encouraging them, let them put aside their fears and come in, to participate in politics. It is when you show yourself, that is when you will know the kind of potentials that you have. But if you sit indoor as a youth, as a young man, you will not be able to come out and project anything. Nobody will even give you the votes. I could recall I started learning how to contest for political position even when I was in the primary school, as I earlier on stated. And so youths are always encouraged by most of us. I recall the speaker, the young speaker, as I have told you, in one of our executive sessions, he now urged us that we should go back and interact with our constituency. And he specifically made provisions that we should go and interact, particularly with the young men, as in the youths, so that we'll encourage them to come and join politics, so that they will also contribute their quota to the development of the state. I also want to tell you that the governor of Plateau State has made it mandatory that in each local government, the secretary of the local government must be a woman. And most of the women that were brought on board are young women. They also constitute part of the youth constituency. And also the deputy chairman. The governor has made it mandatory that the deputy chairman, some of them must be women. And most of the women that are brought on board are young ones. So you could see where a sitting governor is now trying to bring on board the youths, youthful participation in politics and in leadership. And most of the permanent secretaries that he has screened and confirmed are these young permanent secretaries who have the qualities of leadership, of administration. So the Speaker of the Plateau State House of Assembly also, in his bid to encourage the youth in administration and leadership, has approved and successfully employed 257 youths as permanent and pensionable workers in the Plateau State House of Assembly. All these things are done in order to ensure that youths are involved. Youths are involved in administration. Youths are involved in politics. Youths are involved in business. In fact, let me even tell you, as it stands now, the governor of Plateau State has been able to, secure a funding through the African Development Bank. And this funding is to enable the state government to establish industrial centers in the 3 geopolitical zones that we have. The major center where industries that will be processing all our agricultural produce, will be storing them. Like if you have Irish potato, you farm Irish potato, instead of it to spoil, you can store it for 9 months, 10 months. He has established that one in Barkin Ladi, which is the northern zone. And in Mangu local government, they have scored about 300 hectares of land as I speak to you. 23 billion naira will be invested there. And going down to the southern zone, 22 billion naira will be invested. They have also secured 301 hectares of land. All these things, they are processes, they are administrative policies that have really come on board, that have been brought on board by the governor to ensure that the youths are involved in farming, in business, in education, and the rest of them. While in our own part as legislators, we have been able to oversight over all these good intentions of the governor by giving out our advice, by ensuring that these funds that have been brought to the state are really not, played along with, they are really put in for the purpose for which they are brought in. So you can see the synergy that we have, the executive and the governor, and the legislature, in trying to ensure that we bridge the gap where the youths are sidelined. Let them not be idle. Let them not be totally sidelined. Let them be involved in every aspect of life, the endeavor of the state. And so also the federal government, I have seen some of the instances where the youths too are brought on board. But unfortunately for us, you discover that most of the elders, the elders are recycled. They will tell you that that you, the young ones, are leaders of tomorrow. While you will see an old man who is about 60 to 70 years is in the legislature, most especially in the House of Assembly. We do not want that. All that we have been preaching is that let the young ones come on board. Let the young bloods come on board and contribute effectively. If you recall how Nigeria was built in the past, those leaders in the past were actually, young leaders, were people who were just between the ages of 20.
Wow, network. Yeah,
30 and
go ahead.
some.
Maybe you're having a call or something. Yeah, my
Yes,
people,
I think that is what
maybe you
we're
have a
on to.
call.
Yeah, I'm
Maybe you
on
have a
now.
call.
I'm
Maybe
on
you
now.
had a call.
I'm on.
Okay, go ahead.
Call.
Yeah, you can. Okay, it's just that
So
some of this manipulation you would have just. Go ahead.
so bridging the gap between the youth. Hello.
I'm
Hello.
with you. I'm with you. I am with you.
As I earlier on mentioned, is a fact that in Plateau State, though some of the youths are sidelined because they may not even have the funding to be able to participate in politics. But based on the policies that the executive, that's the executive governor, is now executing on the plateau, and the understanding of the legislators, I trust God that before the end of the tenure, many youths, would have been engaged. Many youths would have, shown their intention to vie for one political office or the other. In a bid to encourage the youth in Plateau Youth Council, there's what we call PYC, Plateau Youth Council. I have encouraged a lot of youths in that regards that they should join the Youth Council. It's also a training ground for leadership. We also have the Coalition of Plateau Youth Ethnic Nationalities. It's also another breeding ground where the youths will learn legislation and leadership. I think I was one of the state chairman. I was the state chairman of Plateau Youth Ethnic Nationalities, where you have all the 53 youth ethnic nationalities coming together for the growth and development of the ethnic nationalities on the plateau. So it is expected to be an effort that all of us will bring together in order to ensure that the youths are not completely and totally alienated from participating in leadership.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. I wish other people from other states would go and learn. Really, you see, Plateau State. I don't even know how God did it. I didn't know all these things when I looked for you. It's just that I know that you're young and vibrant. You understand? From the research I made, they told me how vibrant and youth-oriented you are. So I didn't even know all the other wonderful things that are happening in Plateau State. But I thank God. Please go towards your left again so that you'll be balancing the camera. Yeah, good. So I thank God for Plateau State, and we ask other states to go to Plateau State and learn. We need to learn. So because some embarrassing things are happening to the youths in some other states in Nigeria and other countries in Africa. So thank you for that, and thank you again. Thank you. There's something you said about a bill that you have been sponsoring to kick against consumption or abuse of substances within the state by young people. Really, one of the major challenges we have that has relegated young people to stupor and perpetuate their stay in stagnance is the abuse of substance. So I think it is something that will just go, it will not just be House of Assembly. You will have to cry to the federal government, because this time it has to go to the federal government, because it has to go around. As is happening in Plateau, it's happening in Enugu where I come from. It's happening in Anambra, it's happening everywhere. All this decadence you're seeing here and there, heinous crimes you see being committed within the country. All these people are on high influence of substance. And that's why you can see they don't consider the sacredness of nature. They don't consider the sacredness of life when they want to do anything. So I thank you for that life-saving push in your legislative representation. I'm so proud. So let me ask you once more, Honorable. A lot of people are coming from Plateau State now. A lot of Plateau people don't fool this show now. Have you shared it in your page?
Yeah, I think it has been shared.
Because I'm seeing a lot of Plateau people already here. Plateau people don't flood this place now. It shows that you have a big influence with the youth constituency anyway. Yeah.
Yes.
So thank you for that. That's what we are always praying for. We have been praying for this. So if you see how happy I am today having you. Youth empowerment and leadership. What steps is the State House of Assembly taking to promote youth participation in governance and leadership? And how can young people be encouraged to engage more in politics? I think you have answered all those things, because if I still repeat this question, it means I didn't understand what you explained. Because I asked you, you even delve into the next question. You have cleared everything. So let me go to the fourth question I have here. Legislative accountability. How do you measure the impact of laws and policies targeted at young youth development? And what mechanisms are in place to ensure these policies are properly implemented? Because it's not just about making policies. Nigerians have a lot of wonderful policies. Now, what we are talking about is pragmatic or concrete or material or empirical implication of those policies that are wonderfully made. A lot of policies are lying in the files in different states and in different House of Assembly. So we're talking about accountability. Some of these policies that have been made, how do you people, put up efforts, especially you, who am the speaker, because I need to host that speaker. Any moment you help me, we will need to look for that young speaker because he's wonderful. The world need to see him.
Yes.
So how do you people
Well,
ensure?
well,
Yeah.
it is. Thank you very much. It's the responsibility of every leader to be accountable for whatsoever he does. And I want to say here that it is the accountability of the representative that will encourage the youths, the young people, to go into politics. If, for instance, I am a member and I am not accountable to the people, it will not spur other young men to come on board. But if they have seen that I'm accountable, it will encourage them. It will entice them to come into politics. I want to tell you that in 60 days in office, I was able to impact on the lives of the people of my constituency. In my constituency, we have 10 political wards. And in each ward, I was able to execute one project or the other in 60 days.
Wow.
We commissioned the projects in 60 days. If I had known, I would have brought some of the projects, then you show them on the screen for people to see. In some of the projects, I was able to do empowerment. I brought out the number of some women and young people, and I'll give them some funding that will help them in their micro businesses. I also bought more than 200 solar lights, these street lights, to help in security checking. We fixed them all over 4 different wards. We shared them there and make sure that those places that were dark had ray of light to aid in the security of those communities. I also was able to dug boreholes where some people will have potable and drinkable water. In fact, I did different projects cut across the 10 political wards. We went round to appreciate the people by commissioning the projects. This is one of the aspects of accountability. Another aspect of accountability is the ability of the legislature to be able to checkmate the excesses of the MGS. That is the excesses of the executive. It is the executive that executes the projects, while the legislature, makes laws and oversights over what the executive is executing. And so one of the aspects of accountability as a legislature is your ability to be able to follow up. You do the follow-up. The governor or the executive has brought a project to be executed in your constituency. The executive has released funds and allocated those funds for the execution of the projects. It is left for the legislature to be accountable to the people by going down to ensure that those projects are executed. If they are not executed, he comes back and see where to raise a motion of urgent public importance and call the attention of the entire community or the state to the fact that that project that was appropriated and funds were released have not been executed. So accountability can be seen in different phases, but particularly myself, I am always accountable to the people. I have made sure that I have made it a point of duty to go down to the grassroots, to talk to the people, to tell them. In fact, I am awaiting my constituency allowance, and each time I'm able to get the constituency allowance, I will go back to my constituency and convene a meeting of critical stakeholders, and then we will see how to utilize the constituency allowance and intervene in some areas that were lacking in my constituency. Any leader that is not accountable will not be able to do anything tangible that will touch the lives of the people. So accountability is the watchword for any focused leader. And so I am very accountable to my people. And my heart desire as a member is to be able to represent the people without embezzling the funds that are meant for them, or anything that I know is not mine. That thing belongs to the constituency, I should be able to deliver it to the constituency as expected. And that is what we call adequate accountability in leadership.
Wow, that's great. That's great. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Matthew, Honorable Matthew. You see, the problem we have is that constituency allowances are never seen anywhere. It is only when the election is about to come. They will line up people and bring generators. And you see politicians start sweeping the streets. Some of them start frying akara. Some of them start collecting your baby on the road to carry them, so that they will show the world they know how to carry baby. You have seen on the internet where our old politicians go to eat corn, go and fry akara. Hey, just deceiving themselves. But while they are in office, they know that this constituency project is not their own. It's not their own. So it is for the people. Thank God that the young people, especially people like you, subscribe to accountability, and that's good. But there is this there's something that worries me a lot. I want to ask. You see, in the federal sector, each time appointment is given to young people, they abuse it. So what is your campaign? What is you people's campaign, young people, on how federal appointments can be given to young people who have character? Because some of the youths, I don't want to drag people, I don't want to mention people's name here because you are in this show. If you are not in this show, if it's a fellow person, journalist or anything, we can talk on our own. But respecting your position, there are certain things I should not mention in the show. So there are people who are mentioned, they are corrupt. They showed the high level of corruption as young people when they were given privileges. Those of you who have inculcated this virtue of accountability, how do you people project it to the federal level for them to be able to be looking down on people who have very good character before this appointment? It's not just because you follow the president around the whole country when he was campaigning, they'll just give you, and you go and mess the name of the youth up.
Well, it is quite unfortunate that actually there are the bad eggs amongst the youths who are being appointed to take responsibilities. Honestly, sometimes you discover that there is no background check when the appointments are being made.
Correct.
That is why it is expected that before you appoint a young man, and not only a young man, any other person to any position of responsibility, you should be able to know the profile of the person. You should be able to know some of the things that the person has done in the past. You should be able to put sentiments aside and do the needful. Most of the appointments that are done in error. They are done in based on parochial interests of the leaders. Just as you have mentioned, somebody will just give an appointment to a young man because he has really gone wrong with him, but not minding the fact that that young man will not be able to to do what is expected of him. So it is advisable that each time an appointment is to be given, let there be background check, let there be, people who will go down to find out what the person had done in the past. Will he be able to do this or that? And then we have always said that any young man who is going to disgrace the youth constituency when given appointment should be flushed out. He should be flushed out. That appointment should be taken from him and be given to another person. But I want to trust God that most of the youths that I've come across have not really disappointed us. For instance, we have a very young man, a very vibrant man, a young man who was given an appointment as the chairman of Just Metropolitan Development Board. That board is saddled with the responsibility of building the greater Just Master Plan. And that particular position needs someone who is very large at heart. And the executive governor of Plateau State has given that appointment to a very young man. And that young man is performing wonderfully well. I also notice that the governor has always made sure that any young man who is not doing what he is supposed to do is shown the way out.
Sure.
Even recently, he has reshuffled his cabinet. They just saw in new 5 commissioners. They shot 5 commissioners their ways out. And one of the commissioners was a young person. Why? The person maybe didn't perform as expected. And so the governor has decided to bring somebody on board. So anytime the young men are not performing, it's expected that they should be shown the way out. Nationally, it is expected that the federal government appointments too, the young men who are there, if they have not really performed, they should also be shown the way out. But I want to suggest that for any appointment to be given to any young man, please let there be background check.
Serious one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Background check. So thank you, Honorable.
Thank you very much.
Since what do you think is the most challenging thing in quality representation in the legislative arm, especially when it has to do with young blood like you? What's the highest challenge you have faced?
One of the highest challenges is funding, lack of funding. There is no funding. That's one of the highest challenges that we normally face. You will see a young man having vision, a visionary young man. There are no funds to execute projects. It's one of the greatest challenges of it is external interference. External interference in the sense that some of these elders will just sit down out there and say, look at this young man, come and do this, come and do that. They sometimes they think as if we, the young leaders, do not have our agenda. Sometimes they think we do not know what we're doing. So sometimes they try to influence us, by not allowing us to do what. And that is a serious challenge. That's a serious challenge. Another thing is this syndrome called pull me down syndrome. It is one of the things that is really affecting the young people in leadership. You will see the same peers, the same youths who are supposed to navigate around to ensure that they give maximum support to the youths who are in position, are the same youths that will form call groups to fight the youths. What does he think? Who does he think he is? We were just with him. We were playing snooker. Just because they have made him advisor to the governor, he thinks he can prognosis. We have to deal with him. You know, the same youths are the ones that will be fighting the youths, instead of the same youths to rally around those who have been appointed, who are in positions to ensure that they perform very wonderfully. But they are the same youths that will now say, let us pull him down. This syndrome of pull him down syndrome. So those are some of the challenges. And then some of the disadvantages is that some of the youth sometimes at a certain point in time may not be able to withstand some pressure. When time for pressure comes, they may not be able to withstand. But I want to tell you that the youth I have come across,
especially the influence of godfathers. You know, some of these
yes,
youths don't find their way into that without the support or the projection
godfatherism.
from godfathers. So these godfathers tend to continue to, even when the person is in position, he will not allow the person to use his or her potentials to execute the demands or the responsibilities of his or her office. They would, just like you mentioned, even though you said it in such a way that it looks so decent. So you said external influence. You see, godfathers has spoiled a lot for the youths. The youths have in mind to do something, but there's a godfather out there that is controlling and saying a lot of things. So the man, his hands will be tied. Sometimes he wants to do something, and before you know it, his tenure will be over. They will say he did not perform. He did not perform. You know. So I think that is good, and that was enough for today. We are so happy that you came, despite the whole challenges. We navigated to a successful end of this show, and thank God. So I would want you to use this opportunity to give a shout out to anybody in your state, anybody, your father, your wife, your mother, your godfather, your governor, anybody.
Well, first of all, I'm giving shout out to the to my members, to my constituency, Mango South constituency, Plateau State, Nigeria. I am representing them. If not for them, I wouldn't have gotten the opportunity to serve in the House of Assembly. So I'm giving my shout out to them, appreciating them for giving me the opportunity to do the needful, to do what I'm doing now. And so I urge them to continue to give me the necessary support. Also giving out shout out to the people's governor, His Excellency Governor Khaled Manasseh Mutfang. I'm so proud of that man. That man is my mentor. I looked up to him for so many things. And the youngest speaker, who has always called me Ngunan, I appreciate him and all the 10 assembly members for the cooperation they have been giving to the people of Plateau State. And you, my Oga Chinedu, you have been doing very wonderfully well. I have seen you as a man that I will look up to too, in terms of business and other endeavors. While you live in the US, we are in Nigeria, you know that we need so many things from you out there. So I give my shout out to your family and everybody I there too. Thank you, and God bless all of us. I appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you, my brother. Hello, do you? Okay, oh my God. Some people said they want to call it. Do you want to call it? If you want to call it, let me show you. Look at the screen. You will see. Our topic today is on the screen, and that's quality legislative representation of Nigerian youths with Honorable Matthew Kwaku of Plateau State House of Assembly. You can call +1701 9891 910. So in a few minutes, you can react to some of your questions. And if you want to call, you can call because we're almost rounding up. Because
I'm attending to a program.
So just
I should come with you.
Okay, I see that you are having a call, and
okay, somebody is calling.
Somebody is trying to call in. Some people, maybe people from your side, They have been calling in and been showing it. So they are writing to me and say, why I didn't allow them to talk. I say, okay, let them talk now. Let me call. Let me please call in and say one or two things, like a maximum of 3 people. Let's hear from you and what they want to say about you. You are impressed them so much. What I'm seeing on the comment section is so wonderful. Yeah, hello. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Yes, sir. My name is Comrade Isa Kawe.
Okay.
I'm calling from Plateau State, Nigeria.
Okay. So, what is your contribution to? What will you say about this wonderful, young, energetic orator representing Mangu constituency in Plateau State House? So what will you say about his performance and what he represents about the youth, the legislative arm of the Plateau State?
In the first place, I want to first of all appreciate the effort of Chinedu and HTV for inviting our workable member, the member representing the good people of Mangu South State constituency in the Plateau State House of Assembly. In the first place, this is his first time of being a member in the State Assembly. But so far, he has break the record. Break the record in the sense that he contributed immensely to the maintenance of peace in not only his constituency but the entire local government. Secondly, he has done a lot of youth empowerment, and I think he's presently planning to do another one. His youth empowerment cut across all the units that make up of the Mangu constituency, Mangu South constituency. And as a youth, he partake deeply into the legislative activities of Plateau State by sponsoring bills that has positive impact on the entire people of Plateau State.
Yeah, comrade, thank you for what you're saying. Comrade, we just heard you. Thank God that it doesn't look like what politicians say. What politicians can say a lot of things, but your call is good because it's a collaboration of what the honorable member have been able to put across. He practically mentioned in 60 days in the office that he was able to commission some projects. He was able to put out what do you call it, solar lights in four wards to make sure they encourage security and surveillance. He was also able to put up a borehole somewhere, and there was funding for those who have small scale businesses, both women and young people. And he mentioned a lot and a lot. So your call is just a collaboration of his statement admonition. So thank you for calling in. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
So we just heard from Mr. Kawe from the same constituency collaborating what the Honorable have been able to. So we don't have time. So those who will be calling maybe another time, the Honorable will have the chance and privilege. Anytime he has something to tell the world, we can give him the opportunity to come to the show. The young man. And so the only thing you will do for us, what we would beg you as a community today, you are listening to us from all corners. As we are live now, if you are on Instagram, you go to Chinedu TV, you see how many people are on Instagram watching. You see how many people are watching on YouTube and different places now. So this thing on X is live on X now. Like everybody watching on X, and you know what? You know you know what? How far X goes now. So look at it live on X. Can see it live on X. You see it live on X. Live on Twitter. That is how it's live on Instagram. That's how live is live on YouTube. So we will beg you, as our own person, you help us. What you help us to do is for us to have the privilege. You see here, this is YouTube. It's live on YouTube. You can see it. So I don't think for now the social media set, nobody has this in Africa except me. You understand? So it's a TV already here, but we'll be able to launch into major social media that once we are live, it will be showing the same time. So if you are not watching on Instagram, you are watching on Facebook. If you are not watching on Facebook, you are watching at different places, anywhere you can watch. So if you can help us to let us present this young performing speaker to the world. So that's why we say African voice in diaspora. Why we are saying African voice is that a lot of things, a lot of stereotypes about Africa, about Nigeria, those that are doing well, let's show them to the world. Let's show them to so that they will also know that we have young people who are performing. It's not only the story of corruption, the story of this, the story of EFCC arresting. That's what Al Jazeera, what CNN, that's what they are seeing. So we have taken it upon ourselves also to showcase the good part of us, the wonderful part of us. I want to tell you, some people without platforms like this think that some people are still sleeping on the tree in Africa. Do you understand? That is their concept of what Africa looks like. But when they start seeing people like you, seeing young people like you comfortably at their the comfort of their home and responding to media platforms like this, they will know that you know what you're doing. So you will help us so that we show this young speaker to the world and what he has been doing. So God will bless you for coming. But before you go, what does your mind tell you about the future of this platform?
Well, this is I have seen the voice of the voiceless. I think that is what is in my mind. This platform is going to serve as the voice of the voiceless, the projection of the true replica of Africa. So you can keep it up, and I will make sure that we patronize this all the time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, my people. You can see. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is Honorable Matthew Kwanko of Mangu South Constituency in Plateau State House of Assembly, actively on this show today. And remember, this is Chinedu Anichi TV, the African voice in diaspora. Remember, this is a global movement for emancipation of Africa, for repositioning Africa positively on the global limelight. And today, one of our celebrities, when it has to do with quality representation in the legislative cadre, has participated in this show. So we thank you for listening to us. We thank all of you, those who are watching on YouTube, wherever you're watching. I love you, and I love you again. This is Chinedu Anichi TV. Keep streaming Chinedu Anichi TV. Go to our page, watch. From today, as an announcement, we're going to start posting the videos of those who are contesting for the face of Chinedu Anichi TV. So go ahead, please go ahead and keep watching, keep commenting, keep making engagement in that platform. Today, I'm going to post it later. Today, we have been able to buy JAM form for some people and register JAM lessons for them. This is what we do. And at the end of the day, maybe from tomorrow, we still have 1 or 2 persons who are going to empower. So stay tight. You don't know when it is your turn. We'll just call you. We're watching people who are participating. This young girl that is about 15 years has been following us and participating. Then we found out that the mother is a widow, and now we have taken over her JAM. Today, I've already sent money for purchase of the JAM form and paid for her JAM lessons. So very soon we'll be showing all this. We don't show it before, but it is good that we'll start showing so that people will know we're not doing audio things. Okay? So keep streaming, keep commenting, keep sharing. Don't get tired. whatever is good that will come out of this system will get to you. God bless you. I love you. Bye.